Left, and it's real muscular, and this is the right, not so much, okay? There are cuspid valves, which regulate flow from the atria into the ventricles, okay? On the right side, it's a tricuspid valve, or a three-part valve, which is kind of hard to see with the heart's all hacked up like this. You see these, the cusps are just these little flaps of tissue right here, okay? That's one of the cusps, a little flap of tissue, okay? And you'll notice that that cusp is attached with these tiny little strings here. Those are called the chordae tendineae, or tiny tendons. Okay? And those in turn are attached to these bumps on the wall of the ventricle here. That's called the papillary muscle. So when that ventricle contracts, it puts tension on the chordae tendineae, it pulls them, that closes the valve. When that side relaxes, the tension is released and it opens the valve. Okay? So tricuspid on the right, so here's the cusp, the chordae tendineae, the papillary muscle. Okay? Likewise, on the left, there is a big two-part valve. Here's one half of it here. So here's the cusps again, right? There's flaps of tissue. Here's all the chordae tendineae. Those are anchored to the papillary muscle on the wall of the ventricle. Okay? Same setup. Now, if you look at the bottom of this ventricle, you see all these ridges here? That's all extra muscle. That's called the trabeculae carneae muscle. And that's because that left side has to contract so hard. You need extra muscle down there. Okay, that's what all those ridges are. Okay?
Okay, good.
All right. Now there are also valves that regulate flow from the ventricles out of the heart. Right? So there's a valve from the right ventricle to the pulmonary artery, and there's a valve from the left ventricle to the aorta. So if we just look at the left here, well, we've got it here. Here is, let's put this back together a little bit. So here's our aorta, right, coming in. Okay, there's our aorta, and there's the left ventricle. So right where that aorta begins, you can see these flaps of tissue right here. Those are the flaps from the semilunar valve. Okay, so that's the aortic semilunar valve, these two pieces, and they just kind of open and close like this. Okay, so that's the aortic semilunar valve right there at the opening to the aorta. And then the pulmonary semilunar valve, you kind of have to go in from the outside. If it's cut. It's not cut on the outside. You would have to cut, if they want you to look for the pulmonary semilunar valve, they would cut this pulmonary artery down this way, and right where the artery starts, you'd have this two more little flaps of tissue. That would be the pulmonary semilunar valve. Okay? In the right ventricle, you should see something that looks like a rubber band. Yep, there it is. Okay, in this right ventricle, you have this thing, looks like a little rubber band right here. That's called the moderator band. Not really sure what that does, but they like to put little clips on that. Okay, so that's the moderator band. Okay?